Party people, how you feeling?
Hello and welcome to episode 38 of the Papa Jug podcast. It is good to have you back. We have a fun episode tonight. I've got 3 segments for you. These 3 segments are going to be your typical fast facts, which are never typical, ironically. We've also got a really interesting science segment, something that I didn't know was possible. I'm learning something about physics in today's science segment. And then we're going to close it out with a Say What segment with something that really just reeks of bullshit. So let's jump right into it with some fast facts. Hang on, I just made him disappear. Okay, our first fast fact is actually an update to something from last week. In episode 37, we told you about Readers Take Denver. It was a sort of a romantic novel takeover of the city of Denver. And it's a book convention. It's authors and readers and publishers. Everybody shows up. Great. It was put on by a controversial lady who was supposed to be giving some money to a charity. Turns out she owns the charity that she's giving it to. Not a big deal. The entire event is now being called the Fire Festival of Book Conventions. It is absolute, just unmitigated disaster. It was terrible. You can listen to last episode. I will leave a link in the show notes so that you can check that out. It's canceled for the next year. 2024 is over. 2025 is canceled. The sad part is it took a while to get here. Okay, this was very controversial. There was a whole lot of issues with refund demands and security and lawsuit, whatever, tons of bad things. But we hadn't heard from the founder except for this really sort of unprofessional, unPR'd statement about, she was hearing things and she was going to respond, whatever. She didn't respond. Her personal Facebook, well, not her personal, her professional Facebook page, I should say. The last post was about her dogs, and it was pre-book show, or just after the book show, I guess, after the convention. All of the social media for Readers Take Denver is gone. It has been wiped from the internet. It is not accessible anywhere. The only thing that remains is the homepage of Readers Take Denver, and I'm going to read the very blunt statement that was left on the website. This is all that you can find. Readers Take Denver 2025 is canceled. Readers Take Denver 2025 has been canceled. All subsequent charges for payment plans have thus been suspended, and your ticket has been canceled. Your ticket has been canceled. Refunds. All qualifying charges have had their refunds initiated, in parentheses, everything except the non-refundable fees and non-refundable down payments for delayed payment plans. If you are on a regular payment plan, your refund has been processed with the exception of the service fees. Stripe issues refunds within 5 to 10 business days once they have been initiated, which all qualifying ones have been. In order to receive your qualifying refund, in all caps, there is no further action necessary on your end. End caps. Service fees and down payments for delayed plans are non-refundable. Chargebacks. Unfortunately, if you initiated a chargeback, that refund will be delayed up to 45 days depending on your bank. The banks have to do their due diligence, and we are unable to override that process. So your refund, if required, will be delayed until that process has been completed. Hotel. If you reserved a room at the Gaylord for 2025, it is your responsibility to cancel that reservation. Readers Take Denver has no control over those booked rooms unless we manually booked it for you, which we have not done for 2025. Sincerely, Readers Take Denver team. Like, no mention of the last event, no mention of an apology, nothing. Just, you're getting your money, shut up and go away. Not a good look, people. Not a good look. But that is it looks like the final result of what's going on with Readers Take Denver. There has been significant media coverage since then. Local things everywhere from Atlanta to Denver have covered this, talking about what a disaster it is. The New York Times had a piece on it because I think one of their authors was involved, other than Lisa Renee Jones, whatever the founder's name is. So it's very bad all the way around. You hate to see this, especially around something as nice as reading. We like reading. Reading's good. Let's move on to something even worse. Vince McMahon lists final TKO shares for sale. This is getting mentioned tonight because, first of all, wrestling still a very popular sport. Second of all, this is the end of an era. Potentially. I should say potentially, and here's why. listing shares for sale doesn't necessarily mean that you're selling them. You have to disclose to the SEC when you're a publicly traded company in the United States. You have to disclose to the SEC that you are making your shares available. Cool, good. He's done that. Interesting thing is that Vince has done this before. He did this towards the end of 2023. Didn't sell all of his shares. He was still an owner of this new company, TKO. TKO, for those who are not familiar, it came into existence when the UFC bought the WWE. Multi-billion-dollar transaction, huge money. But this is a company. You got to remember, this is a company that Vince McMahon has been a part of for over 50 years. Before him, it was his father's business. He bought it from his father, and he's run it ever since. And let's give, for all of the terrible accusations and all of the terrible conduct that he's had. I mean, there's allegations on one end, and then there's just terrible human conduct on the other. He has made a massive sports empire. And I say sports empire and not sports entertainment empire because with Vince out of the way, for those of you who are still paying attention to wrestling, you may notice that the WWE doesn't call it sports entertainment anymore. That was Vince's thing. Vince was all about, this is sports entertainment. We are the leader in sports entertainment. Okay, but now they're just like, can we just call it pro wrestling? Well, Vince is gone. Vince has been gone ever since the sexual assault lawsuit, the sex trafficking lawsuit. The newest one is the sex trafficking lawsuit. It accuses him and other WWE executives of literal human trafficking, keeping people imprisoned or blackmailing them or, significantly hostile work. It's pretty ugly. That was what forced him out of TKO for the second time. He left before when he had some sexual assault allegations and hush money payments and all of that. He left, but he was the controlling shareholder. So he's like, I'm back on the board. So he put himself back. But he is now gone. He has listed all of his shares for sale. So it really is like, you got to recognize that whatever you think of the man, this is the end of an era in sports entertainment, in pro wrestling, whatever you want to call it. In business, just flat out in business, this is the end of an era. This guy built $1 billion company and he's gone. It's now run by his son-in-law. His daughter has murky involvement. I don't know what Stephanie actually does anymore. She briefly took over when dad left the first time. And then when dad came back, she skipped town again. She's like, I'm not going to stick around. But now it's basically the Triple H era. He runs the thing. He's the chief content officer and all of that. So, but yeah, it's interesting. So in addition to him listing his shares for sale, the president of the WWE, or whatever, his CEO of WWE, but still part of TKO, Nick Khan. Nick was a lieutenant to Vince McMahon, and he has listed all of his shares for sale. I do want to point out some of the shares that Vince put up for sale in the past did sell. If he were to sell all of the shares that are now for sale at the current market price, give or take a few bucks, he's going to net nearly $1 billion from the sale of stock. This dude's got cash. It's insane. But it's also the end of an era. So, and no, I am not Triple H, just so you all know. Up next, let's talk about a really cool piece of news. I'm very happy to talk about this. I meant to talk about this last week. I apologize. It is a little bit dated now. But I do want to let everybody know that I think this is an excellent piece of news. The content creator, aka streamer, aka Pirate Software. Y'all are probably familiar. He is currently, I believe, the most subbed account on Twitch. It was something like 200. Maybe it was 300. Did he break the 300,000 mark? Hold on, I gotta find the number again because it just left my brain. Craptastic. It was like 250 or 350,000 subscribers on his channel in one night. In one stream. It was all dude made bank. It was amazing. But anyways, really cool news about Pirate Software. He has announced, and I'm just going to read the headline to you. Pirate Software pledges to give moderators and staff full-time salary and benefits. It may come as a surprise to some of you. It may not come as a surprise to you. Pirate Software has a team of people that helps him, just like most very large content creators. You can't make that much content on your own. You need help putting things together, et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, Pirate Software has announced that his team is going to get full-time pay and full-time benefits, just like they would at any other company they worked for. But the interesting thing is that after all these years of streaming, after all the Justin TVs and the Mixers and the Twitches and the Kicks and the YouTubes and the Facebook gamings, and after all of this, he's kind of one of the first to really do this. But it's also noteworthy in that he is who he is. Most people have a very positive reputation for the guy. He has a positive reputation with most people, I should say. He's got a good rep in the business, and he's like, look, these guys are working for me. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. They're getting full-time pay and benefits. So I'm going to read you from .esports. No. Oh yeah, Pirate Software, as the name implies, is also a game developer as part of a tiny 3-person team and runs a ferret rescue that will be expanding and hiring more staff in the near future. But Pirate Software recently posted on X that his moderators and other staff are being hired as full-time employees. For those living in the US, this means they'll be getting benefits such as medical insurance, vision insurance, dental insurance, life insurance, as well as part of a company retirement plan on top of their full-time wages. Now, I said that sentence with a lot of enthusiasm. Let me temper that by saying that the United States is one of the worst one of the worst countries at providing benefits to employees. So we don't know, as far as I know, there's no details on what these people are going to be actually compensated with in terms of benefits. He may go above and beyond the national standard. But the US is pretty terrible at that. We don't reward corporate employees very well. But, every company is different. Some companies do a great job. Other companies do the bare minimum. Whatever it is. So that's fine. Yes, he is working on a video game. I don't know if he ever released one. I don't know much about his gaming background, but that is certainly something he does. International contractors are also getting a hefty pay bump to ensure neither party necessarily has it better than the other. I think that's pretty cool. I love to see that as somebody who would love to become a large content creator with a massive audience and really being able to make a difference like this guy is now. I think this is great. I think this is a good standard to set. I think this is a good club to be a part of. If we can get more generosity in content creation and less ego, I think the industry does better. I think the audiences do better. And obviously, this is proof the employees do better. And I love to see that. So congratulations to Pirate Software. He is going to be offering his full-time team, full-time benefits, and pay. GG's. Up next, Discord. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to sneeze. Okay. Discord, they caught a website that was selling a lot of their not user data. Sorry, that's not correct. Their user posts. Okay. Spy.pet data harvester taken down by Discord. There was an investigative report that discovered Spy.pet was selling billions of scraped Discord messages. It gets weird from there. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. No, where did it go? Oh, hold on. There was information about the people that do, maybe, was the investigative report for the Register? I don't remember. Anyways, basically there was an investigative report that discovered that this website was scraping billions of posts from hundreds of millions of users and selling it. Now, who would need that much content? Real simple. AI generators. If you're trying to teach an AI bot how to speak like a human, at least online, digitally online, not eloquent human beings in person, they need massive amounts of data. So it's real simple. This company was going in, scraping the user posts, which are public. I mean, let's be honest. The posts are available, but it is a violation of Discord's terms of service to scrape or self-bot Discord. I'm going to get to a more interesting part about this in a second. So the investigative report comes out. Discord does the investigation. They're like, yeah, this is true. Oh my gosh. Wow. So, so they sold it. Okay, so Discord, they're like, yeah, they're selling the data. We have immediately stopped it. We've shut off their access, and we have banned the associated accounts. And I believe they said, yes, in addition to banning the affiliated accounts, we are considering appropriate legal action. Scraping our services and self-botting are violations of our terms of service and community guidelines. Okay, great. Here's what I thought was interesting. So, by the way, if you were on a Discord public server, something that other people had access to and wasn't completely locked down, you probably have your information sold to somebody. Not your information, your posts. There is no evidence that private user account data was part of the scraping or any hacks were involved. They were literally just scraping what they could find. So, not a huge deal. I personally don't give a shit. Obviously, it's a violation of Discord's rules, and Discord's allowed to be mad about that and protect their data because it is valuable data. They've got tons of it. And that's what perked my attention. While all of these media reports are wonderfully talking about how Discord has Discord has been made aware of this service, Discord has blocked this service, Discord is banning accounts, nobody seems to have talked about the fact that Discord had billions of posts from 620 million users and still hasn't found a way to make money to be profitable. Why is that left out? They are sitting on a data gold mine and they're still not a profitable corporation and never have been. That's weird. I mean, how do you not monetize that? How do you not monetize hundreds of millions of users and billions upon billions of posts? How do you not monetize that to make a profit? It's mind-boggling. It's just, I'm at a loss. So we're gonna move on. Up next. Oh, we've got a couple of pieces. Actually, 1, 2, 3 pieces of gaming news. So actually, okay, you know what? I'm going to hold the gaming news until the end of Fast Facts. So I'm going to give you one other. Razer, the company that makes, headphones like these, Razers. The mouse, I've got a Razer mouse over here. Razer made a mask back in the days of COVID. They made this, what they called the Zephyr. It was supposedly an N95 grade mask. Okay. Razer was selling these things. Small problem. They never had these things tested. They have no reason to believe they were effective at all. The entire thing was false advertising. They completely misrepresented the public or misrepresented the product to the public. Not a good look for Razer. And no surprise, the FTC got a hold of this in the United States and did their own investigation. And they said, you're going to pay us $1.1 million to make up for all the lies you told. So Razer got in trouble because they lied to you and me and everybody else about this product. They never tested it. They designed it to be fashionable, and they told everybody it was N95 grade. So, bad day for Razer. That judgment has gone through. The FTC has given their final judgment on that one. So, yeah, Razer made $1 million selling a mask with RGB, and the FTC is not pleased. Thank you very much, The Verge. All right, let's tackle some gaming stuff real quick. Bethesda, company that makes Starfield. I still love Starfield. I don't know. Nobody else does. I'm sure if you're listening or watching this, nobody else loves Starfield, but I love Starfield. If you go on Twitch right now, it's probably got 50 viewers total. Like, nobody watches it anymore. They did the playthroughs and they're like, yeah, fun game. We're done now. It opened up to less than stellar reviews. It got basically a 7.5 out of 10. But it was a great story, beautiful visuals. And a lot of you know that I love doing virtual photography. So I was in love with Starfield and I still enjoy it to this day. Before they launched, they had announced that they were already working on a DLC. It is called Shattered Space. I had to find it again. Shattered Space will be the first expansion for Starfield. It is coming out. Now, the other interesting thing is that they just dropped a huge patch. If you haven't gotten the May patch, okay, May 2024, if you have not gotten the May patch for Starfield, go get it. It is a game changer. You can drive vehicles. Now, there are some odd limitations purely because you hit invisible walls on these planets. There's parts you can't go to, but you can drive vehicles now. It's cool. Good times. So Bethesda's got this new video. A new expansion pack is coming out. It's going to be called Shattered Space. They're already working on it. And the cool thing is, they dropped there's a video clip where, as part of the announcement, it's like towards the end of the video, if I recall, there's a screenshot of a developer working on some of the artwork for it. So creating some of the environments for it. And it's this real vivid, like purple and pink, or purple and fuchsia kind of scene on a planet. And there's two towers in a graphics program. There are two towers that are being placed on the surface of the planet as part of the environment. That's great. Somebody noticed that on the two, or as call outs from the two towers, sort of labels for the dev, it's House of Varun. So a lot of people are thinking this is an Easter egg that's like, yeah, this is going to focus on a House of Varun storyline. So I think that's going to be interesting. It's a unique faction within Starfield, but this is definitely going to be an exciting expansion. Hopefully, again, sort of adds to the game, brings a little bit more life to it again, but lots of fun. I still enjoy it. I hope you do too. If not, I don't know. What are you playing? Tell us what you're playing if you're not playing Starfield. Are you playing Star Citizen? I hope so. Are you one of Summit 1G's followers and you're one of the 14,000 people that watch him play Star Citizen now? Because, goddamn, that dude's got an audience. Up next in the gaming world, Fallout. Fallout is now a TV show. We've all seen it, I think. Well, I can pretty much say that because Fallout is proving to be far from a nuclear bomb for Amazon's Prime Video. According to the streamer, Amazon Prime, the series pulled in, and this number kind of surprised even me, and I work in this industry. According to the streamer, the series has pulled in 65 million viewers in its first 2 weeks. That's a lot. 65 million viewers have tuned into this thing. That is just stunning. That makes it the second most watched title ever on the platform. Still trying not to sneeze. And the most watched title since the debut of Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power back in 2022, which, by the way, can we get a second season? Can we wrap this? Do something with Lords of the Ring. Lords of the Ring? Like it's an Irish dance troupe. How about Lord of the Rings? Do something with Lord of the Rings, The Ring of Power. Rings of Power. Fuck, I am not doing plurals anymore. Amazon also says the show is its most watched ever among adults 18 to 34, with 60% of the show's audience coming from outside the United States. That surprised me. The 65 million, I was like, wow, that's impressive. I didn't think the number would be that high, but really cool. Good for you. 60% of the audience comes from outside the US, in particular, the UK, France, Brazil have all proven to be hubs for the show's popularity. I like that. I think that's pretty cool. So if you're one of the 65 million people that have watched Fallout, feel free to jump into my Discord. We have conversations about TV shows and movies all the time. Let us know what you thought of Amazon Prime Video's Fallout TV series. That was a lot of words. And finally, in the world of gaming, a whole bunch of negative news, and this just broke. We are recording this on a Friday night, so this just broke. This is a fairly new story. Helldivers 2 not pleasing their community today. Terrible piece of news. They have announced that new players, so in order to go through and get Helldivers 2 now, you must connect it to a PlayStation Network account. If you don't have one, you must go get one. People are pissed. Not happy at all. Everybody is fuming about this. I saw one big oh shit, who was it? It was somebody on X. One of the streamers I'm connected to on X. I don't remember his name. Whatever. He was so pissed. He's like, yeah, I've already demanded a refund. I'm not playing this game anymore. If you want to force me to go get a PlayStation account, which is, by the way, run by a company that is continually and repeatedly hacked, no, I'm not doing it. So it's pretty rough. They are now requiring you to connect it to a PlayStation Network account. Now, here's the comparison that I want to make. I'm a little curious about this, and I cannot be the first person who's thought of this. What is the difference between Helldivers requiring a PlayStation account and Minecraft requiring a Microsoft account? What's the difference? I don't remember Mojang getting in this massive negative downturn when Microsoft picked them up and they're like, yep, we're going to connect it to Microsoft accounts now. No more Mojang accounts. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of at least not that I remember. There wasn't any outrage like this. So I'd like somebody to explain why they see one being worse than the other. But there's probably plenty of people who could answer that question, because since this news dropped, there have been more than 10,000 negative reviews on Steam. Oh, but yeah, by the way, yeah, if you get Helldivers 2 through Steam, you have to connect it through a PlayStation account. Sorry, that's an important detail. But anyways, that place has been flooded with negative reviews. And yeah, it is now, as of the time of recording, more than 10,000 negatives that have just been dumped in the last 24 hours. People are not happy. It's not a good day for Helldivers. Obviously, people still enjoy the game, but a lot of people are upset that they're being required to connect to PlayStation. So keep that in mind. Let's move on to... Yes, we're going to move on to science. You like those space rays? Yeah, that's pretty good. Sorry, I had to get a swig of water. Okay, so we're going to talk about something really, really cool. And I said this in the beginning of the episode. I'm going to say it again. I didn't know this was possible. This is something that I was not aware of in the world of physics, but obviously this is why physicists are smarter than me. I'm going to read this headline, and it's part of what caught my attention to read more about this. Here we go. Stunning image shows atoms transforming into quantum waves. I didn't know that was possible. I thought things that were quantum, and things that were standard matter were standard matter. I didn't know they could transform from one to the other. But let me read this again. Stunning image shows atoms transforming into quantum waves, just as Schrödinger predicted. I'm picking this up from livescience.com. A new imaging technique which captured frozen lithium atoms transforming into quantum waves could be used to probe some of the most poorly understood aspects of the quantum world. For the first time ever, physicists have captured a clear image of individual atoms behaving like a wave. The image shows sharp red dots. Let me show this to you guys. I'm going to try and blow this up here. Hold on a second. Open image. Can I do this? Oh, it's kind of tiny, but okay. I'm just going to bring this in and hopefully we can get yes, here we go. Oh, is that the browser? No, that is not the browser. That's the browser. Okay. Stand by, everybody. Yeah, that ain't it. What happened? Why is there still an over? Oh, that's why there's still an overlay. Anyways, okay. So if you were looking at this, either the live or the YouTube VOD, what you are looking at is the image of these stunning red dots. These are frozen lithium atoms behaving, if this was in motion, like a wave. I didn't know this was a possible thing. The title of this episode is Spooky Action at a Distance. The reason I chose that was specifically for this segment. That is what Einstein described the quantum world as. Spooky action at a distance. He didn't understand it. He was trying to figure out the math for it, but he didn't understand how it functioned and how it related to the standard model that he created. I'll go with the word. The standard model doesn't work with quantum rules. There is a material break. There's something that's like, nope, all the rules for big stuff does not apply in the quantum realm. It's weird. We don't get it. And again, Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. So that's what this picture is showing, is quite literally sort of the bridging of those two worlds, which news to me, but whatever. I'm going to restore everything. Hold on. There. I got to bring it all back. Hold on. There. Okay, I think that's it. So anyways, that's what that picture is. And I'm blown away that that's what this does. For the first time ever, physicists have captured a clear image of individual atoms behaving like a wave. The image shows sharp red dots of fluorescing atoms transforming into fuzzy blobs of wave packets, and it is a stunning demonstration of the idea that atoms exist as both particles and waves. One of the cornerstones of quantum mechanics. which yes, but never like like mathematically it was there, but like nobody has ever seen it. Now they got pictures of it. The scientists who invented the imaging technique published their findings on the preprint server Arxiv, ARXIV, which, by the way, that is not peer reviewed. I just want to be clear to everybody, that is not a peer-reviewed site. It is pre-review. So it hasn't been published. It hasn't been reviewed. They're just saying, look what we did. Now everybody go prove us wrong. Scientists love to do that. Okay. That's the difference between science and other jobs. Scientists are like, yeah, I love to get proved wrong because that means we've advanced something. It's great. Quote, the wave nature of matter remains one of the most striking aspects of quantum mechanics. This is what the researchers said in the paper. They add that their new technique could be used to image more complex systems, giving insights into some fundamental questions in physics. First proposed by the French physicist Louis de... Oh, fuck, it's French. It's... Okay, I'm not going to do French. Louis de Broglie? I'm going to go with Broglie. Louis de Broglie. Okay, sorry, French is not my thing. You can ask... I've got a whole stream about this. French, no. In 1924, and expanded upon by Erwin Schrödinger 2 years later, wave-particle duality states that all quantum-sized objects, and therefore all matter, exists as both particles and waves at the same time. Schrödinger's famous equation is typically interpreted by physicists as stating that atoms exist as packets of wave-like probability in space, which are then collapsed into discrete particles upon observation. While bafflingly counterintuitive, this bizarre property of the quantum world has been witnessed in numerous experiments. To image this fuzzy duality, the physicists first cooled lithium atoms to near absolute zero temperatures, which would be 0 Kelvin, by bombarding them with photons or light particles from a laser to rob them of their momentum. So in other words, beat the crap out of the atoms until they can't move. Because once you hit absolute zero, there is no motion whatsoever. Literally, the electrons of the atoms have stopped. That's really cool science. Once the atoms were cooled, more lasers trapped them within an optical lattice as discrete packets. With the atoms cooled and confined, the researchers periodically switched the optical lattice off and on, expanding the atoms from a confined near-particle state to one resembling a wave and then back. That's so cool! I'm flabbergasted. So, just having a good time with that one. I think this is incredible science. I think that the better we understand quantum mechanics, the more we learn, I think we are going to be able to better understand interstellar travel. I think it's going to allow for interstellar communication. I think it's going to allow for interstellar, like I said, travel. I think it's going to allow for our species to take very, very almost geometric growth in terms of our abilities as a species. We don't understand how things fundamentally function at the tiniest levels. And I mean tiniest levels. We don't get it yet. But if we can start to see how they work, if we can start to visualize and experience what quantum is, what's happening at the quantum level, and how the quantum level relates to and interacts with and becomes with the standard model, it gets better. It's just, the world becomes a better place at that point because we're understanding the world in which we live. We didn't make this. This is the world in which this is our 3 dimensions plus time. This is up, down, left, right, forward, backwards. These are our spatial dimensions and we have time to go with it. But the more we can understand about this, I think if I were to put a prediction on it, I would guess that the moment we understand, that we better understand quantum mechanics and we understand really like quantum physics down to that tiny little level, I think we're close to figuring out multiple dimensions. I think we're close to understanding the 4th dimension that is outside our current ability to grasp. I think we can get there, but we have to understand how it works at this level before it works at this level. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. All right, everybody, let's move on to our final subject, which is Say What? What does the fuck say? Something stupid. Okay. Hold on. I have to read this specifically. Hey all, I'll be streaming tonight, 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on Kick, talking about this very topic and how we're working with DreamHack Brass to develop policy around IRL streaming etiquette. All feedback welcome in chat. We want to hear from all parties. That is the statement from Andrew Santamaria, the executive at Kick, after the really, really terrible IRL behavior of Kick streamers at DreamHack Australia. For those of you who don't know, there was a contingent of IRL streamers they are all Kick streamers. They are not on Twitch. They are all representing Kick unofficially, according to Kick. There's conflicting reports. Some are saying that these people were officially invited by Kick. They were guests of Kick. Kick is saying that's not the case, and Kick is saying they're all did their own thing. Basically, this group of rowdy guys showed up at DreamHack Australia, assaulted people, verbally harassed people, sexually harassed people. It was very, very bad. Okay. Inexcusable behavior. No. And so they have this moment, and Kick is because Kick is a partner. You got to remember, Kick, if you don't know this, Kick is a partner this year with DreamHack worldwide, not just Australia, no, they are a global broadcast partner. They're a global streaming partner with DreamHack. So for Kick, it was like, oh my God, why are our people making us look so bad? Well, it's real simple. You told all the bad people to come stream on your platform. This is the most obvious thing. You have asked the foxes to run the hen house, and they are. You were so fed up, and your leadership was so fed up that with Twitch's rules that you were like, you know what, we're going to go create a place where you can go do whatever you want. Yeehaw! So you created Kick, and you brought in people like Trainwrecks and Aiden Ross. Okay, what do you think they're going to do? What do you think happens when you tell people this is where you can be the real you? This is where you get to be alpha male you. This is where you get to not worry about Twitch's rules that restrict your behavior. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? This is what's going to happen. You're going to invite all the worst people of the internet to show up in one place that is supposed to be run by professionalism, and they're going to behave like dumbasses. Oh, I'm sorry. Anthony Santamaria actually said that they were boneheads. That was his big criticism of they were boneheads. If you haven't been keeping up with all of the problems that Twitch has had in the last couple of months, okay, Trainwrecks, who is a part owner, Trainwrecks has stopped streaming on Kick and has publicly said, and I've talked about this with my content creator team, Trainwrecks has stopped streaming on Kick and has said he's not coming back until they get their act together. Aiden Ross is publicly criticizing Kick for their conduct, and he is publicly trying to get the Twitch CEO to unban him from Twitch. You've got Johnny Somali getting arrested. You've got Neon getting arrested. And now you've got this conduct at DreamHack, and it's like, guys, this is what happens when you say there are no rules. You can't control this. So Santamaria comes back and he's like, all right, these people that have had these bad conduct, acted like quote unquote boneheads at DreamHack, they've been banned. And it's true. Like one of them, one of the more notorious ones was a guy named Louis X, I think. Louis X? Yeah, I think it was Louis X. He's on camera, making a woman very uncomfortable. She's sitting there, she's got her phone, she's live, she's recording this. He just plops right next to her. Hey, what are you doing tonight? And she's just like, who the hell are you? Like it's so cringy to watch. It's just bad. But he's been banned. I did check. His account is banned. Now, let's take Neon, for example. Neon was not involved in the DreamHack exercise of debauchery, but Neon was recently arrested or detained or led away from a theme park in Dubai because apparently he had no permission to be there and he was recording anyway. So he also got arrested for illegal street racing in, I want to say Germany, but that doesn't sound right in my brain, so it's something else. But anyway, so Neon gets nailed. And so Kick says, we're banning Neon. Guess what, folks? While I record this, right now, Neon is streaming on Kick. The ban was, as usual in this dumbass industry, 2 days, a day, 3 days, whatever the fuck it was nothing. These guys are literally committing crimes, and these these streaming platforms are just like, okay, you're naughty. And they, slap their wrist, and then they're like, please come back and make us more money. Thanks. But it's especially bad on Kick because Kick is the place without rules. So when you have a statement from a guy like Anthony Santamaria who says, we're working with DreamHack Brass to develop policy around IRL streaming etiquette. Newsflash, there are some other companies that have already done that because they're more responsible than you are. Can you guess their names? That's right. Twitch and YouTube and Facebook, they have these guidelines. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, and don't give us the bullshit that you're somehow thinking that you're revolutionizing IRL streaming etiquette. Develop policy around IRL streaming etiquette. Go do like you did with your website design. Go look at Twitch's, change 2 words, and publish it. That's all you got to do. You're like, great, they have rules. Let's write those. Just copy and paste like we did with our website. It's fine. They didn't get mad at us before, so who cares? It's mind-numbingly stupid. I've said this before and I'll say it again. The big streamers on Twitch are typically the guys who you either are on apology tour or you need to be on an apology tour. It's that simple. Now, there are plenty of great, wonderful, small streamers on Kick. But the big people at the top tend to be, I'm not going to paint it with that broad of a brush where I say all of them. Most of them tend to be really terrible. They just don't give a crap about other human beings outside their own self. This is all we hear. All we hear about terrible people doing terrible things, and they love it on Kick because Kick lets you do it. If you guys remember, it was like 20 episodes ago, but we covered this moment where Amaranth was with Fusi. Yeah, I think it was about 20 episodes ago. But Amaranth was streaming with Fusi, and she had just recently announced that she was going to be streaming on Kick. She hadn't left Twitch, but she was going to be streaming on Kick as well. And she was doing this basically IRL stream with Fusi. Fusi hadn't really been doing much. He had his videos, and he said he left the prank world behind and he was changing and becoming a better human. But Amaranth flat out told him, oh yeah, you can do whatever you want on Kick. And it's like, yeah, because that's what they built it for. So that's what you're going to get. People who are too young and stupid with way too much money and power who feel like they're untouchable. And let me be clear about something else. This is not a problem unique to Kick. You can go to any number of Twitch streamers who have done similar stupid things. You can go to any number of YouTube streamers who have done any number of stupid things. The difference is that Kick specifically tells people, this is the place where we don't inhibit your content. We don't want to get between a creator and their content. Well, I'm sorry, legally you have to. If you're going to give them the platform by which to broadcast that irresponsible behavior, that makes you the responsible one. So you have a problem. And Kick keeps doing this where there's like, we want to not inhibit. Okay, but that means that you've got the brand problem. And that means that advertisers are going to be less likely to touch you because they're not going to put their brand up against your brand of lawlessness. It's like they don't want to take the risk. They don't know. Are they going to show up next to a guy dressed as Hitler? Brands don't want that. Go ask Elon Musk if brands want that. Brands are not excited about that. So you've got a problem there as well. This is an ongoing, continual thing. And I keep watching this stuff, guys, because again, I'm a co-founder of a content creator team, and this is a content creator team where it's not just a name. We are dedicated to being professional content creators. We're not sitting here telling everybody what content to create or how to create it, but we do try to operate the way we're supposed to professionally. And that's why I watch these things, because these are teachable moments. And again, not unique to Kick. If Kick succeeds at doing something great, we learn from that. If Kick fails at doing something great or succeeds at doing something terrible, we learn from that. The same is true for Twitch. The same is true for YouTube. But Kick seems to be teaching us all the ways to not do this. And that's why I stay on top of this stuff, because as an audience, I would hope that you are choosing where to spend your time, where to find a community of people. I hope you're choosing the ones that are making, I hope you're choosing the ones that aren't trying to victimize others. I hope you're choosing the ones that aren't looking for ways to traumatize the public. I hope you're looking for a community or an audience or just a creator that is at least trying to make not a bad difference in the world. That's what I hope for. That's what I love to see in audiences. Look, I'll tell you flat out, this morning, I had to ban a guy from my channel because last night he decided to go on this transphobic, misogynistic psycho rant, which he had never done in my channel. He's been a fan since July. Like, he followed back in July, and it's May now. But he went on this, like, making just the most off the wall, inappropriate comments. And I was like, hey, this is not usual behavior for this guy. I'm going to DM him. I had a mod who was fantastic. One of our bouncers in the PJParty community was in the channel as this was happening live. He gave the guy a couple of warnings. And finally it was like, hey, you need to straighten up or we're getting rid of you. Boom. Got a timeout. Guy was gone. He instantly unfollowed me. He instantly left the Discord. I can track all of that. And I sent the guy a DM after the stream. And I was like, listen, I don't know. I hope you're okay, because this is not normally what you do in my channel, but what you were saying, the comments you were making are not acceptable. So, if I can help you with anything, please let me know. I hope you're doing all right. But hopefully you get back to me. And he did. He made no apologies for what he said. None at all. He attacked women. He attacked marriage. He attacked the state of men. Like, this is a dude who's been listening to and watching way too much Andrew Tate. Okay. He's having problems. And I was like, all right, if there's no apology and there's no attempt to say that, yeah, I was wrong, or, you know what, dude, I was drunk off my ass. I apologize. Sorry, you're gone. We are bouncing you out of there because I'm not going to put up with that crap. But I didn't have to sit there as a board of directors and figure out, what did he call it? A policy around IRL streaming etiquette. I was like, no, you're a toxic human. You're gone. So I absolutely backed up my bouncer, and I was like, nope, you made the right call in timing the guy out. He hasn't apologized for his behavior. He thinks what he did was absolutely correct, despite the fact that he's a misogynistic asshole. Gone. Oh, okay. Not a problem. It's not that hard. Kick isn't the first company to figure out streaming. So they don't have to reinvent the wheel with everything they do. They just need to do better. So I guess that's the theme of this is, as a company, Kick needs to do better. As content creators, people need to do better. As audiences, we need to do better. Because, like I said, right now, as I'm recording this episode, Neon is streaming on Kick to 68,000 viewers. The audience doesn't care. They're like, yay, entertain me. I don't care if you break the law. I don't care if you put other people at risk. He was racing a Lambo, by the way. Like, he slammed into another car and then fled the scene. He got his ass off that freeway and he was like, yep, I'm out. Boom, took off. 68,000 people either don't know, don't care, or both. I don't know. It's just like, that's where I would love to see us do better. I'd love to see us do better as a civilization with that. Let's not reward bad behavior. And with that message, I leave you tonight. So, we are back on Twitch on Monday night, not committing crimes. And then, of course, I do hope that you will drop a subscription on the YouTube channel, follow us on whatever audio platform you're on, and go join the Discord, because that is the hub of the PJ Party. Go have yourself a good morning, a good day, a good night, whatever it is for you, and I will see you Monday. See ya.